Hey there, did you just get rejected? Your crush didn't like you back? Well, I have a solution for you. Communication. You do it every day. With your mom, with your dad, in your head, with your friends, with your teachers, with your classmates, co-workers, and the whole of society. Even the universe. It is how we express our thoughts, feelings, ideas, and insights, signifying the engagement of humans as social beings. When exchanging ideas, you do it in two ways. One is by using words, or two, expressing yourself through gestures and facial expressions. Like, I can seem really excited because of the way I move my hands around and the way my eyes are going like that. You get the point. Whether it's your first cry when you're born or your first Instagram post, communication plays a crucial role in society. A tool to express oneself and connect with others like you, or even to break barriers among cultures, nations, and groups. Throughout time, the way we communicate has evolved. Special thanks to technology for that. With social media, the rise of personal blogs, and a platform like YouTube or Anchor where you can start your own Spotify podcast, you can share your opinions and thoughts on almost all things to everyone, even to the people you don't want to share it with.
Okay.
Nature of communication. Communication is a two-way process, connecting both living and non-living things, connecting people with the world they live in. Like if one day you wondered what it's like to be a dead, old IKEA couch, and so you decided to watch a couch for an entire day, just to write a poem about it, and share it with the world or your friends, or just revel in it yourself, thinking about how sad or how nice it must be to be a dead, old IKEA couch. Communication is only communication when the receiver understands the message of the sender, the way the sender intended the message to be interpreted or understood. If one day you say, "Boy, it sure is warm today," you're communicating what you feel, sharing your own experience. Since everyone in the world, including the person you're talking to, may not be feeling warm like you or as warm as you, because you're probably wearing a jacket that you thought was cute on a hot summer day. That's your fault. The same way an ancient art and form of communication, literature, can make you feel things you've never felt or experience something you've never gone through. But such stories can possess the power of resonance, reminding you that you're not alone in whatever you're feeling or going through. Without communication, all forms of human relationships will vanish and die, the way plants are when they aren't watered. Unless you're a cactus or something. Therefore, communicating is crucial in building and maintaining relationships. That's why when one fails to communicate effectively, it often results in a misunderstanding. It can be because of the way you talked. Were you too soft or too loud? Talk too fast or too slow? Or maybe it was your nonverbal actions, such as your body language during a face-to-face conversation. And sometimes a simple text could have hindered clear communication. Like when you sent that text to an acquaintance who mistook your usual way of messaging and texting to be too emotional for them or devoid of all emotion. By understanding the process of communication, we can avoid the inconveniences of misunderstandings better. If you see here, we have the diagram of the 5-step communication process. The process of communication, rom-com edition. Communication begins when a person responds to the stimulus and decides to encode or transmit the idea in the form of a message, sometimes code, through a particular channel or means of communication. Do you want to text your crush, call your crush, talk to your crush face to face, or write a love letter? I don't know, that's up to you. The receiver then decodes or interprets the message sent by the originator and responds accordingly based on the person's interpretation of the message. That's where the response comes in. Like, will your crush A, say, I like you, or B, say, we're still young, let's be friends, or C, ew. Response. Response comes in the form of feedback sent to the sender, aka the original source of communication, and as the transaction of communication continues, roles are interchanged among the people involved in the conversation. The sender becomes the receiver and vice versa, ping pong badminton. Like that really nice but nosy aunt who actually brings the two people you ship together in the series out of the slow burn after like 24 episodes. Now, if you've watched enough movies and read enough books, you will find that this is where miscommunication may occur. Aside from the part where the guy is trying to get the point across that he likes the girl. Example, Gilbert Blythe and Anne Shirley sending letters of love to each other with neither actually reading the letters due to unforeseen circumstances in the Anne with an E series on Netflix. # please renew Anne with an E. Anyway, back to stage 3. The response in the form of feedback may be misunderstood as when the message was sent by the receiver. Barriers to communication may block the transmission of the message, therefore the beginning of a misunderstanding. And there's a model for that. The Shannon-Weaver model of communication, aka the telephone model, as it was developed in the 1940s by Claude Shannon and Warren Weaver, when the clarity of phone calls were jeopardized by noise. Literal noise. Shannon-Weaver model of communication. This model, addressing the influence of noise in communication and how it can significantly influence the quality of communication, has 5 important features. 1. Sender. The sender is the originator of the message or information source. 2. Encoder. The transmitter that converts messages into signals, like when you're on a phone call and the voice is converted into wave signals and it is transmitted through cables. 3. Decoder. The reception place of the signal that converts signals into a message or puts the pieces of a conversational puzzle together. It is also the reverse process of encode. 4. Receiver. The person to whom the message is sent to by the sender. And lastly, 5. Noise. A distraction in the channel, like a typo in the letter or the text you sent, a wrong emoji, or a crowd noise muffling the sender's words. In this case, noise doesn't necessarily mean literal noise, but also factors that may hinder the delivery and mutual understanding in the midst of communication. The Shannon-Weaver model is a great reminder to make sure that the noise, such as external factors or mistakes that hinder the clarity of your communication, is eliminated or managed well so as not to interfere with your message. Do you remember your first cry for milk? I don't. But as we grow older and meet new people and tackle all kinds of situations we never imagined, our communication skills broaden, and the horizon for change isn't as far off as we once thought. As babies, we used to cry or gurgle for everything, that anyone who doesn't know us well won't know what we really want. But your mom, your dad, that sneeze was from my dad. But your mom, your dad, or whoever raised you knew what you were asking for even before you asked for it. From gaga goo-goos to your first mama, or whatever word you said, you toddled off to school and learned new words from walking dictionaries or the literal dictionary that gives you muscles from weightlifting, from lifting them, reading them. And we have a model for that. The helical model of communication. The helical model of communication was developed by Frank Dance in 1967, portraying communication as a helix, a 3-dimensional spring-like curve that is cyclical, continuous, and accumulative, influenced by time and experience. It isn't repetitive, no matter how dreary and dull your communicational aspect in life may seem. It continues to expand, as every activity influences the evolution of your Pokemon. I mean communication, not Pokemon. And lastly, as this video comes to an end, I shall remind you of Aristotle's model of communication. Aristotle's model of communication, developed by the wise, old, and well-known Greek philosopher Aristotle, this is one of the first and earliest models of communication, a speaker-centered model where both the speaker and the speech he or she is delivering are very important. Like the way I had to research, write a script, and then film this YouTube video and then edit it, adding visual effects to perhaps help you understand the message better. Unlike the Shannon-Weaver model, Aristotle's model of communication is speaker-centered and therefore doesn't consider the concept of noise or barriers, which are considered a major part of interpersonal communication. This video wasn't made to magically make your crush like you back, because I can't do that, but take it as a pretty long educational reminder to communicate.